Now, the moment you've all been waiting for, and that I was waiting for, day 5 of the Camino. The day that I would finally walk only 10 kilometers and finally get to my destination. So I got up, and even though I'd been so exhausted the day before, I got up and I was like so lighthearted. I was like, I am almost there. I am so excited. So I got up and I just had this croissant that was like literally like the size of my head, and I had some cafe con leche, and I made my merry way. And most of it was on like paved road and like through the city, because you had to go through New Santiago de Compostela to get to Old Santiago de Compostela, which is like whatever, because I was like, man, you know, I was like, I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there. So I passed by this cool like statue. I like took a picture of it, and I was like, see you guys there. I'm not stopping. It's not stopping for no one. So yeah. So then I start getting into like the older part of town. There's like this. I can see like the spires of the cathedral, and then there's like this like archway that you pass through, and there's this guy playing the bagpipes there. And not many people realize this, but bagpipes are like really, really typical of northern Spain traditional music. Pretty cool. So he was like playing this like intense like pass by him, come around the corner, and bam, there it is. I was like, I was like so excited. I was like, this is what I've been walking for. And so yeah, so I was like, man, I'm gonna go in there and check it out, because there's all these really, really cool traditions that the pilgrims do once they arrive. So first things first is there's this pillar that it has this handprint that has been worn into it. It's like an indent, because just when the pilgrims would enter the cathedral, they would just put their hands there, just be like, oh, thank you, I made it. And I was like super excited to do that, because I saw it in the movie, I saw pictures of it, and I was like, I'm doing that. Yeah, it was blocked off, so I was like, well, I guess I'll take a picture of it, pretend I put my hand in there, say thank you. And but there still was the crypt of St. James of Santiago, who apparently, like I said before, I think was they think like he was really close to Jesus Christ. This is somebody who walked, who talked, who knew Jesus Christ, who touched him, who heard him, who everything. Yeah, just like amazing. So the first thing I did was I followed the signs that said, give the statue of St. James a hug. And I was like, I'm gonna go hug this guy. I've seen videos of this. This looks pretty cool. And at least they let you do it still. But like I walked by it, and there's like, I go up there and I walk by him, and there's this guy like watching, and I was like, am I supposed to touch it? So like I didn't touch it, and then like this girl behind me just like grabbed it. So then I like patted it, and I was like, well, that sucked. Then I went down to his crypt, and it was just, his remains were just in this really beautiful silver box, and they had a place where you could kneel and pray, but there were just people there, and I was like, well, I just feel like I should kneel and pray here, but they're just people passing through, and it's just like not the right environment. So I just like went out and like explored the church, and I got a seat in the third row for the Pilgrim's Mass. I was like super early, and so I sat there for like an hour, but it was totally worth it. Like it was a great view. Like they announced everyone that completed they didn't announce the names, but they said where people had come from that had completed the pilgrimage. And they announced me the day later, May 1st of 2012, they announced Greenville, South Carolina, and that someone from there had completed the pilgrimage. And I'm pumped about that. I wish I'd been there, but, it's still really amazing that they even, did it. So yeah, the mass is great, and then they have the Botafumerio or something like that. They have the world's biggest incense thing, and they like have like 6 guys like pulling this huge thing, and it just like swings across the church. It was really beautiful. I almost cried. I was like, this is amazing. And then I saw people actually hugging the statue during mass, and I was like, well, I'm gonna go hug that thing, man. I missed out on the pillar, missed out on hitting my head on the statue of the guy at the bottom of the pillar. I have to go hug the statue, man. So I went back, like as soon as mass ended, I was like, I'm gonna go hug that statue. And I went and I gave him a big hug. I was excited. I almost cried, because I just like hugged him, and I was like, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for such a wonderful experience, for getting me through safely, for making this even possible, for giving me these friends and companions that I've made on the way and here in Spain, and just for teaching me some lessons, some about myself, some about life, just like I was just like, thanks, and amen to God. So then after that, I was like, oh my God, I have to get my Compostela. So I went with my pilgrim's passport. Check it out. Look at all my stamps. Yeah. And yeah, I got my Compostela, and I was like super excited. Look at this. So official. It's all in Latin. Even my name's like Marium Elizabethum or something like that. And so yeah, it was the end of my Compostela. It was like, or my Camino, my pilgrimage. It was a really different experience. It was really hard. It was really hard, but I don't know, getting to know God and stuff isn't easy, and I don't know, like a lot of people are like, well, you shouldn't have to do anything for God, you should just know that he loves you. And I'm like, well, if you knew that someone loved you that much and gave you that much and sacrificed their life for you, wouldn't you want to do something in return, even if it wasn't asked of you? I don't know. That's just what I think. So, so I don't know. I'm like super happy I did it, and it's like completely different from anything I will ever do here, and it's just something I'll never forget. And especially not because I bought this shell to go with my medal, so I'll never forget. I'll never forget. So, the lessons I learned, the experiences I had, and if I do forget, I have my handy dandy notebook, which I used just today. So, anyways, so yeah, and I'm just gonna leave on the note that I think that a lot of people have like mentioned this, and I think I kind of agree with it, that your pilgrimage and your way, your Camino, the Camino de Santiago was just the beginning. It's just the beginning. So from here on out, it's just the Camino of life, and it is what you make of it. So, buen Camino, tios.